Okay, good. It's recording. There we go. All right, so now let's keep going then. Okay, so this is another one with time period. In other words, this one's going to be a little bit different. The book does do an example like this. That's why I'm doing this example. But when you read it, there's something different about it. I mean, yeah, we're assuming an investment is made, $900, and we assume it's increasing in value at a rate of 12%. I mean, for every 2 years. I mean, right away, you can tell that it's going to be an exponential function. You should be able to tell that. And how do we know that? Because the output or value of the investment, that's changing at a percent rate. It's changing at a rate of a percent. It's increasing or decreasing. It's increasing by a percentage. But notice it's every 2 years, though. But we want to find a formula for the value in X years. Well, it turns out what you're going to do is this. Since our formula, our function that is, the units are in years, and we know that it's increasing in value every 2 years, you basically are going to compensate for that by dividing by 2. I'm sure there is a way to prove that using the factor label method or proportions. I have not done that though, so mostly because of time. So I don't know if that's a good excuse or not, but basically that's what's going to happen though. The idea is that you're going to multiply by 1 plus R, but you're not going to do that every year. You do it every 2 years. So that's why you divide X by 2. To really help illustrate it, I just made a table with some data. Right? You can see when X is 2, that's when you're multiplying it by this to get 1008. In other words, you're increasing it by 12%. And the next time it increases is when X is 4. But how do we get 2 out of 4? We divide. Look at that laser thing. Like so. And also, the next time that this happens again, the next time you multiply by 1.12, it occurs when X is 6. But how do we get 3 out of 6? We divide. The whole idea is, since it's happening every 2 years, you have to divide by 2. That's really what I'm trying to get at. I mean, this takes it a little bit more, this is a little bit more general. I wrote this out. But basically, if X is in years, and if the function is growing or shrinking, the function value that is, every m years, R again is that percent rate, but if it's every m years, you divide by m. You divide by m. I actually wrote units for X in case X is in something else, but it's really the same idea. And the next one will illustrate this. Instead, if it's happening n times a year, so in this case it's happening n times within a year, like every, I don't know, 3 months or something, then you multiply X by n. Again, this is going to be in the notes, so I'm pretty sure this is in the notes I send, but I will post the notes as well. But this is actually the general idea. And if instead of years, if you had days, and then they had over here, you had days as well, it would be the same idea. You just divide. That's all. I mean, I hope that helps. It might be causing more confusion. That's actually why I was afraid to show a proof of this. Not that I have one, but I was afraid the proof can cause more confusion. But I hope this kind of makes sense. But here's another one just to help illustrate it. So let's say instead that the same investment, same percentage, right? But now it's increasing in value every 4 months. Okay, so every 2 years is every 4 months. Since there are 12 months in a year, it's happening 3 times a year. So in this case, the function, you multiply the input by 3. That's what happens here. Okay. Again, here it's 3 times in a year. So you multiply by 3. Before the first example, it occurred every 2 years. So the first instance is when x is 2, so we divide by 2. And here's another one. So what is the input going to look like here then, do you think? Anyone? What's this exponent going to be?
2x.
Not 2x, it's 6 months. Oh no, I'm sorry, you're right. You're right, 2x. I'm sorry. My mistake. See, I messed up too. I make mistakes. 6 months, right. So it's 2x then, because it's twice a year. Okay. Right, it's 2x. Right, because again, it's every 2 years. Excuse me, it's twice a year. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So to really illustrate this, I want everyone to do this one. So this one, I want everyone to work on, just take about, 5 minutes or so. So let me stop the recording and I'll wait.